Hello, welcome to everyone. This is Baburao Kunchala. Today, I would like to discuss about the second chapter of NCERT history. That is kings, farmers, and towns. So, after Harappa civilization in NCERT, second chapter kings, farmers, and towns. So this is actually existed between 600 BC to 600 BC to 600 CE. So one by one we will discuss. Is it clear? So now here the first one. So developments after the end of the Harappan civilization. What happened after the Harappa civilization? After end of the Harappa civilization, we can see the developments in India. So right, a first one, very important thing here, Rig Veda. It was composed by people. It was composed by people living along Indus and its tributaries. So right, it was composed by people who are living along the Indus and its tributaries. So next one here, agricultural settlements also emerged in North India, Deccan Plateau, and parts of the Karnataka. So third one, evidence of pastoral population. The pastoral population also see in Deccan area and further south. Deccan area and further south, we can see the population, that means pastoral population in Deccan and further south. So new modes of disposal of the dead, right, including making of elaborate stone structure that's known as megaliths. In many cases, the dead were buried with a rich range of iron tools. It's very important. It's a iron tools and weapons. Once again, I'm repeating here, the new modes of disposal of the dead actually started after Harappa, that including making of elaborate stone structure. It's known as the megaliths, that you can see that was dead buried on the rich range of iron. Rich range of iron, that's very important. And again here you can see the weapons also. So now here, what are the developments of epigraphy in India, particularly 1830s? I hope you know, first of all, what is epigraphy? So we need to learn that one also. First one, epigraphy is the study of inscriptions. So I hope you know that. Epigraphy is the study of inscription. James Princip, very important point. James Princip is an officer in the Mint of the East India Company. He was deciphered Brahmi and Kharosthi scripts, the two important scripts used in the earliest inscriptions and coins. Brahmi and Kharosthi scripts actually used in the earliest inscriptions and coins. James Princip, this is very important. James Princip, actually he was an officer in Mint of the East India Company, and he was deciphered Brahmi and Kharosthi, the two scripts which is used in earliest inscriptions and coins. So most of these mentioned a king referred to as Piyadasi, that is very important. So he found some inscription. Most of the inscriptions are mentioned here in the coins, Piyadasi. What is the meaning of Piyadasi? Pleasant to behold. Pleasant to behold. So There were few inscriptions also found by the James Princip. That inscriptions actually refer to the king as Ashoka, one of the most famous ruler known from the Buddhist text. The famous ruler known from the Buddhist text. These are the some developments. Now here we will go and discuss about the inscriptions. So inscriptions are, what are the inscriptions? Inscriptions are writing and engraved on board surface such as stone, metal or pottery. Stone or metal or pottery. They usually recorded the achievements, activities or ideas of those who commissioned them. That is the most importance of the inscriptions. No, now here it includes exploits of the kings or donations of the kings and donations made by the women and men to religious institutions. This is also help us to know about the history, particularly Indian history. Right. Next one, inscriptions are virtually permanent records, some which carry dates also, because inscriptions actually help a lot to the Indian historians to find out the history. So right, yeah. So now other dates, if you observe here, others dated on the basis of paleography. The paleography, the most important point here, what is paleography? Paleography is the study of written historical documents or a style of writing with a fair amount of precision. Okay, right? So, the earliest inscriptions were in Prakriti, a name for languages used by the ordinary people. Prakriti is a language. Most of the inscriptions were in Prakriti, and a name for language used by the ordinary people. So, right, I hope you know rich people use Sanskrit. Okay, right. So, now here Ajatasattu and Ashoka, two important kings. They are known from Prakriti text and inscriptions. These two members known for Prakriti text and inscriptions. So, Pali, Tamil and Sanskrit were also used to write inscription and text. Pali, Tamil, Sanskrit also used to write inscriptions and text. Right. So now the earliest states, the 16 mahajanapadas. What is the importance of the 16 mahajanapadas? So first one, in 6th century BCE is an era associated with the early states, cities, the growing use of iron, the development of coinage. They were known as the development of coinage. So now here it is also witnessed, this stage or this phase also witnessed the growth diverse of system of thought, that is including Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, right? So early Buddhist and Jain texts mention, among other things, right, like 16 states known as mahajanapadas. The 16 states known as mahajanapadas. Okay, right? So now most of the mahajanapadas were ruled by the kings. Some known as ganas, very very important, or sanghas, or oligarchies. These were power was shared by the number of men, often corruptly called rajas. So some actually mahajanapadas ruled by the kings. Some actually ganas or sanghas or oligarchies. So, where was shared by the power shared by the collective called Rajas. So, both Mahavira and the Buddha, both Mahavira and Buddha belong to such ganas. In the case of Vajji, Sangha, the Rajas probably control resources such as land collectively. This is also one thing. Each mahajanapada had a capital city which was often fortified. That's also important. Right? So, Janapada means the land where Jana, a people or clan or tribe, sets its foot or settles. It is a word used in both Prakriti and Sanskrit. Right? So, from 6th century BCE onwards, Brahmanas began composing Sanskrit texts known as Dharma Sutras. These lay down norms for rulers as well as for other social categories who were ideally expected to be Kshatriyas. Rulers were advised to collect taxes and tribute from cultivators, traders, and artisans. Correct? So, the rights of neighboring states were recognized as a legitimate means of acquiring wealth. That is also important. So, now look here, early states and their capitals. Okay, right? Here you can see here Ujjaini, Avanti here. Here you can find the Avanti, Chedi, Vatsa, Kashi, Koshala, Malla, right? Kuru, Panchala, right? And Matsya. And here in northwestern side, Gandhara and Kamboja. Now, first among the 16 mahajanapadas, first one is Magadha. So, between 6th and 4th centuries BCE, Magadha, present day Bihar, it became the most powerful mahajanapada. Correct? Between the 6th and 4th, between the 6th and 4th centuries, Magadha, that is in present day Bihar, became the most powerful mahajanapada. Magadha was a region where agriculture was especially productive because it was a fertile land. So, elephants, an important component of the army, that were also found in forest in the region. That is also one point you need to add. It's also the Ganga and its tributaries provided a means of cheap and convenient communication. These are the main reason for Magadha to become a powerful mahajanapada. So, early Buddhist and Jain writers who wrote about Magadha attributed its power to the policies of individuals, ruthlessly ambitious kings of whom Bimbisara, Ajatasattu and Mahapadmananda were the best known king. The last name king named Dhanananda. Correct? Bimbisara, Ajatasattu, Mahapadmananda are the best known kings for the Magadha dynasty. Initially, Rajagraha, a Prakriti name for present-day Rajgir in Bihar. Rajagraha, a Prakriti name for present-day Rajgir in Bihar. It was the capital of Magadha. Rajagraha was fortified a settlement that located among hills. It was fortified settlement located among hills. Later in 4th century BCE, the capital was shifted to Pataliputra, present today Patna. Pataliputra, present today Patna. I hope you understand. In 4th century BCE, the capital was shifted to Pataliputra, present today Patna. What are the languages and script used? This is also important. So, most of the Ashokan inscriptions were in Prakriti language, while those in the northwest of the subcontinent were, you can see, Aramic and Greek languages. Northwestern states where you can find the Aramic and Greek languages, inscriptions. But most of the Ashoka inscriptions are in Prakriti language. So, most Prakriti inscriptions were written in the Brahmi script. However, some in the northwest were written in the Kharoshthi script. Most of the Prakriti inscriptions were written in Brahmi script. Some inscriptions in northwest side were written in Kharoshthi. The Aramic and Greek scripts were used for inscriptions in Afghanistan. That's also important. The Aramic and Greek scripts were used for inscription in Afghanistan. An early empire. So, the growth of the Magadha, it culminated in the emergence of Mauryan Empire, with the biggest empire. Chandragupta Maurya, who founded the empire 321 BCE. It extended control as for northwest, Afghanistan, Balochistan, and his grandson Ashoka conquered Kalinga, present-day coastal Orissa. So, right, here you can see the lion capital. Lion capital, a symbol. Right, here Ashoka Chakra. Here lotus, inverted lotus, is the lion capital. So, sources to reconstruct the history of the Mauryan Empire. Next heading, sources to reconstruct the history of the Mauryan Empire. What are the sources? First one, Megasthenes, a Greek ambassador to the court of the Chandragupta Maurya. This was the first source. Second one, Arthashastra. It was composed by Kautilya or Chanakya, traditionally believed to be the minister of Chandragupta. Kautilya or Chanakya or Vishnugupta has one more name, that is Vishnugupta. So, the Mauryas are mentioned in later Buddhist, Jains and Puranic literature as well as in Sanskrit literary works also. The inscriptions of the Ashoka around 272 or 268 or 231 BCE, 270 to 268 to 231 BCE on rocks and pillars. Ashoka was the first ruler who inscribed his message to his subjects and officials on stone surfaces, that is natural rocks as well as polished pillars. He used the inscriptions to proclaim what he understood to be dharma. This includes respect towards elders, generosity towards brahmanas. That's also important. Administrative system during the time of the Mauryas. There were 5 major political centers in the empire. The capital Pataliputra and provincial centers of Takshashila, Ujjaini, Toshali and Suvarnagiri, all mentioned in Ashokan inscriptions. Takshashila, Ujjaini, Toshali and Suvarnagiri. It is likely to that administrative control was strongest in areas around the capital and the provincial centers. So the centers were carefully chosen, both Takshashila and Ujjaini. It was being situated on the important long distance trade routes, while Suvarnagiri, literally the golden mountain. Suvarnagiri means the golden mountain. It was possibly important for tapping the gold mines of Karnataka. Megasthenes mentions a committee with 6 subcommittees for coordinating military activities. Of these, one looked after the navy, that is also important. The second managed transport and provisions. First one is navy, second transport and provisions, and third one foot soldiers, responsible for foot soldiers, and fourth one horses, that is Ashwadalam, and fifth one chariots, and sixth one is elephants. Sixth one is elephants. So right, Ashoka also tried to hold his empire together by propagating Dhamma. There was a special officers known as the Dhamma Mahatta. They were appointed to spread the message of Dhamma. The Mauryan Empire lasted for about 150 years, which is not a very long time in the vast span of the history of the subcontinent. New notions of